Hi there, I'm Dr. Stacey Cooper. Thank you for joining me here live. Last night we hosted our Empowered Women's Circle here as our sister circle in Brantford, and we're connected together with the Empowered Women's Circle in Texas with Dr. Catherine Hansen, and we were doing a visioning for 2018 and planning and creating the 2018 that we want to have and that we want to allow our lights to shine as bright as possible. And one thing that came up from our session last night, here in Brantford, one of the big themes with our particular group was love. And in Texas, one of their things that came up for them was health in regards to what we want to focus on, what we want to see more of, and what we want to create for our 2018. So as we were talking about this, welcome, thanks for joining me, our self-talk and positivity, and how often does positivity come out of your mouth? And are you actually conscious of all the negative that's around you, that you're subjected to, or that you subject yourself to? So I just wanted to give a little example as to how seemingly it can be benign, but how prevalent it is everywhere. So I love you all jumping in and popping in here watching. So we were doing an exercise last night at the Empowered Women's Circle that we host once a month, and it was a balance exercise, physically standing and balancing. And as I was working with one of the ladies, the very first thing out of her mouth was, "Oh, I'm not very good at balancing." When you make that statement, of course you're going to prove yourself to be right. You're going to prove yourself to be true. And when you tweak that negative and all the downtrodden that we put upon ourselves, let alone what everybody else puts upon us, when you tweak that a little bit and say, hey, I'm really great at balancing, that is absolutely going to improve your balance. So I encourage you to become conscious of the words that you're using for yourself and start to change that a little bit. And so it's funny, at one point, Dr. Catherine, I was introducing everyone in our room on our Zoom link through the channel to Dr. Catherine in Texas. And she said, how can you remember all those names and bring that on? And I said, I'm awesome. And if you think that you're awesome, that's not gloating. That's not, it's not a negative thing. It's confidence in yourself. And that certainly helps to change how your performance is going to show up. Because when you come from a place of confidence and knowing, and that allows you to learn more, to express more, and to give as much as you can to the best of your ability, everything is going to be up-leveled. And that's the purpose. So a real great resource that I want to share with you is something that I'm reading right now and really has changed my mindset and has shifted things greatly for me. And I know so many can benefit from this because mindset is where it all begins. It's all between here. And if you're thinking all negative thoughts, then what are you going to get but negative? So when you change the energy that you're creating for yourself, we are energetic beings. And when that energy is changed, it is expressed differently outwards from us, and those around you will respond differently to your energy. So if you want to see changes in your relationships, your business situations, in anything, start to change your energy. So a resource that I shared with the ladies last night at our Empowered Women's Circle, and you'll be able to find that link. I'm sorry, this is for women only, the circle, but this information is for everybody. So the Empowered Women's Circle, I'll put the link in the comments below so you'll be able to connect there, anyone who's interested, and you can create your own sister circle in your own area too, and can attend virtually with us. So no worries about that. Technology is fabulous. But the resource is the 4 agreements. So the author is Don Miguel Ruiz. And the 4 agreements state that, first of all, you're going to be true to your word. So what you say is what you do. And isn't that how we're all supposed to behave, right? If you tell somebody that you're going to do something, shouldn't you live up to your word and do it? So be true to your word. The second one is to not take it personally. So I'll share with you a brief example. There was a situation where I had an agreement with somebody else. They haven't kept their end of the agreement. They asked me for some information, and I said, well, it's been provided to you in this particular fashion, and if you need more information, here's the person that you can contact and the phone number. So I provided what they had asked, and the reply that I got back from them was certainly very negative, very hostile. And in the past, I would have taken that to heart. I would have carried that weight. I would have beaten myself up about it, and I would have held on to that for a long time. But because of the change of mindset that I have now, as we continue to learn, to grow, and to experience new things, I've come to the understanding that his particular reply to me came in that fashion because of the space that he is in and the energy that he is in at this time, and it truly has nothing to do with me. And I don't need to take on that baggage, and I don't need to worry about it. And so when I received that text reply, in the past it would have rocked my day in a negative way. When I received it this time, I just laughed. I thought, oh, that's really funny. And I just let it go. And I let it be free, and it's gone, and it didn't affect my day in a negative way because I didn't allow it to. So don't take it personally. When people say things to you, everybody is going through their own stuff. Everybody's going through their own situation, and they carry that with them. And, you know, the checkout person at the grocery store, do you say hello to them? Do you interact with them? Are they gruff and short with you? Well, maybe things in their life aren't so rosy. So you really could just say hello and connect and communicate and help to make their day. So it's even just something as little as that you can implement. But when someone responds to you, don't take it personally, because they're coming from their place, and that doesn't necessarily mean the place that you are at. So another of the 4 agreements, don't take it personally, is don't assume anything. So if you're not effective in communicating your wishes, desires, or your thoughts, then how are people going to know what you want? No one is a mind reader. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows what your thoughts, feelings, what your emotions are unless you communicate that to them. So don't assume anything is the 3rd agreement from Don Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. And the 4th one, now that I get talking about it, I have to check. Always do your best. If you are always putting your best foot forward, and you're always doing the best that you can with whatever resources you have and coming true from your heart, no one else can ask any more of you than you doing your best. And when you start to show love to others, and love was one of the topics that came up for us in the room in Brantford for the Empowered Women's Circle, and health was one of the topics that came up for our Texas group. And so when we were talking about love, if you feel that there's a lack of love around you or that you wish that you had more love, start with yourself. Love begins with you. If you find a lack of love in your life, how much do you love yourself? And this is the positive self-talk that I was just talking about at the very beginning of this. So if you're always berating yourself and down on yourself and condemning yourself, where is your love? And so when you start to care for yourself, whether that be through exercise, thanks for the love, I truly appreciate that there too, Jans. When you start to appreciate yourself, take care of yourself, whether it be through exercise or how you're fueling your body and foods that you're eating, whether it be through meditation and actually taking time for yourself and slowing down. How often do you find that when you start the day, you're already behind? That you're running and racing, that you skip out without even getting breakfast or nourishing your body, that you're behind the clock, that you're racing to make lunches and scooting people out the door, racing off to work, and you're always late or speeding to get there. Another video, an interview with Dr. Joe Dispenza is incredible, and that's on my page. You can see it there at Lifestyle Balance Solutions. And the first 20 minutes just blew my mind. But when Dr. Joe was asked what is his non-negotiable, he said his morning routine, his morning time. That's non-negotiable. It can't be broken. No one can invade it. He doesn't give it up for anybody. So Dr. Joe's morning routine is 2 hours long. Now, I know everybody can come up with a million reasons why there's no possible way that they could spend 2 hours every day on themselves. The point is, when you take time to nourish your mind, body, and spirit and love yourself, this is called self-care. This is not being selfish, because you are the only one looking after you. And if you don't look after yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. And if you don't look after yourself and re-energize your batteries and recharge your soul, you are then left running a rat race, running for everybody else, never saying no, becoming worn out, depleted, exhausted, frustrated, miserable, and living a life that you don't love. And what is the point? So when you start with self-love and you care for yourself first, and you find love within yourself, that too changes your energetic being and your energy field. And as I said, we are all energy. Everyone responds to energy. That is so me. Yes, Jans, that is so many of us as we're connecting here and knowing that you're not in it alone, that we're all coming from the same place. And so when you start to change, your energy changes. That then creates a different energy field, and people around you notice it. And people around you will respond to you differently. So we also talked about something else last night at the Empowered Women's Circle. And one of my examples was, I have 4 teenagers at home, as you know, so homework can be an issue. So oftentimes, you know, every one of us defaults to our habits. We go to our old routines. So in a conversation or an argument or a situation, you generally default to your habit. So when one of the kids comes home and I'm checking on homework, why isn't your homework done? Why isn't your homework done? How come you haven't done your homework? Why isn't your homework done? Of course, this leads to the same argument, the same situation, the same frustration on both ends. And if we continue to do the same process, how on earth do you expect to have change or resolution or not go through the same argument if you're doing the same thing over and over? So one thing I encouraged last night is, instead of defaulting to your same, the first thing you do is recognize that situation, that it replays often, far too often. The second thing is to recognize what is your default. What do you always go to? The third is recognize that those words are coming out of your mouth and change them for the next time. And then the fourth thing to do is to find the back door. Find a different way to approach the situation and come in from the other side. And that you will see huge change. So instead of, how come your homework's not done? Why aren't you doing your homework? Maybe address it. I see that you really struggle doing your homework in this class. What is it that is preventing you from getting your homework done? What is the issue? Isn't that a huge shift already? Can't you feel that? And so now you are there as an ally for them, and they are now going to, wow, Mom's really here to help. And then you can have a conversation. You can find ways to work together to resolution. And now you're on the same team, and now you're working together. And it doesn't just have to be with kids and homework. It can be with your boss. It can be with a coworker. It can be with your spouse. It can be with a family member. It works universally across any situation. So number one, recognize the same old, same old. Secondly, know what your default is. Examine the situation and know what you already have your response ready before the question is even asked, because you've played it out so many times. And then third, stop those words from coming out, or those actions from coming out, or those expressions from coming out. And then fourth, find the back door and come at it from a different direction so that you can work together for greater resolution. So positive self-talk is what I was bringing forward today. So I shared with you the 4 agreements with Don Miguel Ruiz. Incredible work, and really shifts your mindset in regards to how you view yourself, how you love yourself, and then how that changes everything else around you. So generally what you're finding your lack is often what you're missing for yourself. So when you start to actually really look into that, recognize it, and bring it forward, everything else will change. So in regards to the Empowered Women's Circle, we do meet once a month. I shall put that link so you can connect right in the comment box below. I'll also post a picture of the 4 agreements so you can see where to find it and how to get it. And it truly is worth the read. And it's also available in my lending library right here at my office. And you can also request it at your local public library. So if there's resources that you really want to tap into and that you want to know, go ahead and ask at your library, and you can borrow it for free because they want to keep their members happy. There's many, many resources available online and many groups that you can connect with. So I truly appreciate you guys viewing in with me here today and learning more, and we'll stay connected in our groups. So here's to positive self-talk for you, and you are awesome. Have a great day. Bye for now.